Right, so today I'm going to start concentrating on this area around here. There was something I wanted to do down here, but I can't remember now. I'm coming back to this from overnight. It will come back to me. Anyway, I'm going to start working around this area and then probably start coming round. So I'm going to work with the primrose first. I know I did mention that this was a bit too light, but you can see these bits around the top of the eye are quite light anyway. So I'm going to use this first, and then we can put in other colours as we go along. So as I say, I've got the primrose first, and going in the direction of the fur, I'm just going to put a good coverage of this colour down to get started for a base layer. So yeah, it's quite light around the eye up the top here as well, so this colour will probably be quite a good fit. And I am trying to stick to just the two brands, well, 3 if you include the Pablo white, but I do try and stick to the same colours, try and keep it a bit more simple. I think what I'm going to do is just put this colour all over this corner bit. I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to go up. This area is the start of the ear, so I'm probably not going to go as far as that. I personally don't do a sharp line around. I just you know, let the pencil drift off at the sides rather than doing a sharp line, but everyone prefers it differently. So, but that's probably what I would do. I would probably just do a non-sharp edging. Right, so it's coming over this way now. If you're right-handed, this side will be a bit easier, but because I'm left-handed, I look a bit cack-handed, they say, don't they, left-handers? Okay, so I'm not worrying about any details at the moment, obviously. I'm just getting this colour in. Right, just looking up here, so we're still going this way. Okay, so I'm just thinking where that ends, and then we've got some shorter hairs up here, so just keep looking at your reference photo. I know this is a base layer, but it is good to, you know, get the right lengths of the fur lines in. Okay, and then this goes off this way. Okay, so I've just come up here as well. My phone's playing silly beggars, so I didn't record this bit, but I've just come up here, as I say, with the primrose. So yeah, that's the first base. So I was looking at other colours as well to introduce to the fur. I was thinking maybe the cardamom orange. I don't know if it's going to be too bright, but I thought we'd give it a go. So this is the cardamom orange. As I say, I'm going to try and stick with the polychromes. I think that will work. We've got the terracotta and the burnt ochre, but this is quite a nice lighter orange. I think that will work quite nice. Yeah, I think that will be okay. I'm just using soft pressure, so I'm still just getting the colours in at the moment. I'm not worrying about details. We haven't yet used the slice tool either. We may not need to use it, I don't know. But having said that, with the whiskers we probably will be using the slice tool for that. But you've also got the mono rubber as well for a choice to use. But having said that, that will be a bit too big for some of the whiskers, you know, the little smaller ones further down, where I think the mono rubber will be too thick. I'm actually waiting for some more mono rubbers. I ordered some more about a week ago. I'm still waiting for them, but I couldn't believe how expensive they are. I think you get two lengths of the rubber that you put in this pencil, so you get two, and it came to £14 just for two little rubbers. So ridiculously expensive. Okay, and then we've got, this is where it starts coming round, curls round. This is where I have to get into a funny angle because it's coming down here. Okay, so my phone's been playing silly beggars when I was recording, so I have actually done some more without it being recorded. So I've used the cardamom orange, just thought I'd introduce a different colour, as well as, you know, the terracotta and the burnt ochre we've been using. So as I say, this is the cardamom orange, and I think it would be quite a good colour to use in the brighter orange areas, like, which is what I've done here. So that's all that's been missed. So yeah, I've just done that. So I think that would be quite a nice colour as well. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to get the brown ochre 10% back with the Luminance. Okay, don't think this colour's really doing much for it at the moment. I mean, it's helping smooth the cardamom that I've just used over. It is helping with that at least. Because we want this to all be quite nice and soft, and so it's at least doing that. Okay, I think I'm going to go to the brown ochre now, or the burnt ochre, sorry. Okay, and then let's come over here. Okay, this is where I get into a funny angle. So over here it's coming across. Okay, and then I'm going to come this way as if I'm going into the top layer of fur, because we've got a lighter bit here. Right, okay, so I'm going to darken some of the areas that need darkening. So I'm going to try the Venetian red and get some red down. And once we've established the colours that work, the rest of the cat should be quite easy to get on with, but it's just getting the right colour palette. Getting pencil dust now as well. It takes a bit higher. Okay, now around his eye needs to be darkened up quite a lot. I'm actually using this to go over the cinnamon on the eyelids as well, actually. That'll help darken it up in there a bit more. That's made a huge difference. I think that was a good colour choice there. We could still do with darkening it up a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to use it down here as well, but I'm using slightly less pressure. Let's lose it a bit down here as well. Okay, let's put a bit of the Venetian red along here. So I'm just getting the darker bits darker now. And then we can see what colours we need for the lighter areas. Okay. Let's go with the caput mortuum now. I'm going to do pretty much the same, but with the caput mortuum, I might just give it a bit more, might just darken it up a little bit more. Got a few stray fur lines there. I'm using a bit more pressure in the darker areas. And it's giving that eye a lot more definition now. Now we're darkening it up. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with the caput mortuum. Let's just darken up some areas here. I think that's working lovely with the Venetian red actually. I think this is where this is why I like the film that's matte both sides. So if you can't quite get the colour you want, or it's just not quite getting dark enough, you can go on the other side. So it's just nice to have that extra tool to fall back on to use the reverse side. But I don't think we're going to need to here. Put a little bit in that bit there, and then we'll worry about that stripe as we come down. Okay, so I'm going to darken this bit up here a little bit. So let's try, we use the brown, let's try with the terracotta. Okay, and we've got another darker bit coming down here. I'm getting a few layers of this down on here, because what I'm going to do, because we've got a lighter bit here which will be going over this bit, I'm going to use the slice tool to get those lighter fine hairs coming over. So I need to get enough layers on this area here. Let's do a bit more there. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that primrose again, or actually I'm going to grab the brown ochre 10%. I'm just going to soften where I've just been. So I'm just going back and forth just to get the colour in and just to get enough layers down, because when I use the slice tool it would be more effective with the more layers down, which I'll show you in a minute. It just makes everything soft and realistic looking. We don't want sharp lines. Right, okay, I think that's enough down. So let's get this slice tool. So with this one, I have actually got the branded slice tool. I've had this 2 or 3 years, and they are really expensive. And I would suggest, if you can get a a cheaper version, then do so. I'm sure they do on Amazon, but you know, these are expensive, and then the blades are also expensive. So yeah, if you want to get a cheaper version, as I say, I would suggest looking online. It's just a plastic blade on the top. You can't cut yourself. If anyone wants the link, I'll send it to them of the slice tool. But yeah, I would suggest maybe looking for a cheaper craft knife. So anyway, let's try and get some of these finer hairs coming off, and also we've got some whiskers as well. So it just gives the effect that you've got some highlighted fur coming over the top. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. Okay, let's do a couple of these longer whiskers. That's literally all you do. Just give that blade a bit of a clean. And that's all. I don't like to overdo it with the sharp lines. So we need to add a bit more colour in the lighter area. So I'm going to go back to the burnt ochre. Just to fill in a few more fur lines. Okay, let's just do a bit more up here. We've got that thick line there. Oh. having a look. I've got the Caput Mortuum Violet here. I don't know if that will give it a bit more of a... It's a bit darker than the Caput Mortuum. I'm going to get the, let's go with the walnut brown. And that dark area there, I think the walnut brown just gives it a bit more darker tone there above the eye. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for that area. Let's get rid of all the pencil dust. You definitely need a brush when you're working on film. Right, okay, let's come over this way now. I've got the primrose back because I'm just going to fill in this lighter area on this side, just so it matches. And also it's got more of a yellowy colour rather than the buttery like the brown ochre. Take that up to there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the brown ochre 10%. I'm just going to use this to fill in all this area here, and we've got a few different directions of fur going on. I'm also taking note of the length of the fur as well. So in the middle here we've got lots of short little fur lines, and then as it goes out to the side it gets longer. Okay, so we've got a dark stripe there. So I've just put a bit more pressure on with my pencil, just to really guide me as to where areas are darker. We've got the line underneath, of course, but sometimes after you've put the few colours down, you can lose your line art. Okay, so we've got a deep, quite a dark area here. Comes down here. Right, so we've got, let's just do this bit as well, that's a darker area. Actually, the first starts going off up that way, and it slowly comes around again. Okay, let's just put a bit more there. Super. Right, let's move on to the next colour. I think I'm going to do what I did over the other side and get these darker areas in first. So we went with the cardamom orange, so let's go back with that. If we pretty much do with what we did on the other side, it worked, so we'll do it again. Okay, I'm going to use this to fill in the darker areas as well. I'll use that coming down this side as well a bit. It's a bit darker here. So this is where we need to concentrate on fur lines, or the directions I mean. Okay, we've got this bit here. Okay, that's all good so far. Let's go with the terracotta. It's not really making a massive difference, the terracotta. I think the brown ochre might do a better job. It doesn't really matter, it's, you know, it's not a mistake, it all adds to the end piece. So I'm going to go back to the the burnt ochre, sorry. I think this burnt ochre colour is probably the colour I use the most out of all my drawings. I seem to use this colour more than any of the others, strangely. Right, so we've got some short stubby little fur lines here. And also another tip, rather than keep sharpening your pencils, you may notice I turn my pencil quite a lot. It's just to keep the, you know, when you're doing something like this, it just keeps your pencil sharper for longer, rather than just keep sharpening them. Just try to keep your pencils lasting as long as you can. But yeah, I'm always turning my pencil just to get as much use out of them, basically. I'm just going to bring that up here a bit more, just so we've got a soft edge up the top here. Okay, let's just bring that over here as well. Okay, and then they're coming up this way. And then we've got quite a lighter bit there, so I won't take this any further for now. Okay, now let's darken up some of these areas. So let's go back to the Venetian red. I've got the Venetian red here. This is quite a dark area here, so I'm just going back and forward with my pencil just to get the colour in and to get several layers in at one time. So we've got this darker bit here, so I'm going to go in this direction, so I'm going into the lighter bit. It gives the illusion that you're working under the fur. but we probably will add the slice tool there to add a few more highlights. Okay, and I'm going to bring that down this side a little bit more as well. Okay, let's get this bit here in. And bring it down the middle here as well, and we'll get the caput mortuum out because that worked quite well. And that's looking good. So let's get the caput mortuum. There you are. I'm now concentrating on the direction of the fur. Now we're getting close to the last layer, or nearly anyway, if not the last layer. We want the fur lines to be going in the right direction. Okay, that's working nicely. Let's do these really dark bits. come down here. And then I'm going to go back to the burnt ochre, I think. Right, so let's get the burnt ochre. So this area is quite light, but it's a bit too light at the moment, so I'm just going to put some burnt ochre in it. I'm actually going to give that a sharpen. Okay, I'm going to try some raw umber. I don't think I've used this colour yet, but it might just darken some of the orange bits. Raw umber works quite well with the orange colours and okay, and then a bit more on this eye here. just going to use some of that over here as well, actually. I think that would complement it a bit more. Okay, let's do a bit of slice tool again. Just do some highlights in areas at the top here. My blade's getting a bit, it's trying to get the sharper bit of the blade. I'm just using this for highlighted hairlines, just to give it a bit more depth. In places, we could do with a bit more here actually. I think that's it for here. I don't want to overdo it. I can always go back to it later. Just keeping the film clean with the brush. Okay, so you will see a bit of colour down here. My phone decided to pause the recording, so I'm just going to do it again to show you, so apologies for that. So I'm back with the primrose colour in the Luminance, and I've just done the lighter areas here above the eye, and then down here, obviously make sure I'm going in the direction of the fur. And then I went back to the brown ochre 10%, and I've filled in the rest of the area. So I haven't really missed much, but I'm just doing it again just to show you what I've done. As I say, my phone decided to pause. It obviously wanted a break, which isn't very helpful. But anyway, I'm just getting an even coverage of this pencil. Okay, I think that'll be okay, and we'll go back to the cardamom orange, if I can find it. Oh, there you are. So I've got the cardamom orange, just pretty much doing the same as what we've done on the other side. It worked well, so so it's coming round this way. Okay, and then it goes around this way. Okay, right, let's go to, I'm going to go to the burnt ochre now. We've got a few direction changes here, so we need to put them in. Okay, sticking with this brown ochre, I'm just going to bring this up a bit more. So I think the next thing would be to darken this up, and then move off to the side. So Venetian red I think would be a good choice now. So we've got the Venetian red. Actually, I'm going to sharpen that a bit more. Okay, start off here. And it's quite dark in this area actually, so we need to get that in. I think we might need to use the black. Okay, let's get the caput mortuum next. There you are. The caput mortuum. Put a bit of that up here as well. Right, so we used the walnut brown over here, so let's give it a go just to darken, especially coming down the side here. So I'm using a bit more pressure to get the colour in. I think that's working okay, to be fair. I think that's okay. Let's move on up to here then. So I'm going to get the terracotta, I think. That'd be a good choice. Just to liven this up a little bit more. Okay, let's come down here. Okay, I'm going to get the Venetian red back. Just add a bit more here, around here. Okay, let's go to the burnt ochre. I'm not too worried that I'm going to lose the lighter areas because I can bring them back with a slice tool, because I need nice thin lines anyway. So I will get that back. I need to shorten this a little bit, I think. I think I could probably add a bit more colour here now as well. Now I'm getting to the end of this side, I think this could do with a bit more colour in. I'm going to get the caput mortuum. That's not the right one. Where are you? There you are. I'm just going to put a bit here. think that's going well. Just now I'm going to add a bit more colour back that side, so I'm just going to go to the burnt ochre again. A bit annoying, but I'm just going to put in a bit more colour. That's it. Now I'm going to get the Venetian red again. Bring that down here as well a little bit while I've got it. Okay, I think that's helped quite a bit. Okay, fantastic. Let's get a bit of slice tool out, and I think that'll probably be it for this video. We do need to do a bit more work, but oh, that's dirty. Let's give that a wipe. Right, so we've got some highlights here. Let's put some of them in. Just got the burnt ochre here again. I just want to tidy that up a little bit. It's always nice to finish it where it looks nice, and then when you come back to it the next time, it's nice to look at, and you want to carry on, of course.